It's okay if you don't want to move to the continent of Africa as a black traveler or expat. It's okay. It's also okay if you do move to an African country, but you don't change your name to something else, that fits with, that the local language, someone renamed you or something. It's okay if you're struggling with the local foods, the local customs, maybe the pace of life in a given African country, or maybe Caribbean, or something like that. It's okay. You have to take your time. Sometimes you see people, and I've dealt with it myself, where I'll see black travelers all up in Europe and stuff like that. And I won't lie, I've sometimes felt some type of way, but I'm working on that now, where instead, when I see them in Greece or Italy or wherever, I think to myself, good for them being adventurous. Good for them smiling, and happy, with their family or their significant other, or even if they're just solo traveling or something like that. I've yet to solo travel myself. I ain't ready for that just yet. But no matter where black Americans or black folk, African Americans, are traveling or living abroad, that's a win. That's exciting. Better yet, really, for anybody, for sure. I happen to be thinking about, us, people who look like me in this video. But I mean, good for anybody who's living abroad, who's learning another language, who's eating new food, learning new ways of thinking, because I tell you, it's tough to be American, to be Western, and to come to a new country that is so the polar opposite of what you're used to, even down to the time or the measurements. Maybe they're doing things, you're used to miles, they're doing them in kilometers or something like that, what have you. It's okay if you're struggling, to adjust, to adapt. But the good thing is that you're focused on living as harmoniously in an African country as you can, because it's hard to let go of that way of thinking. It's really, really tough. But it's not impossible. It's not impossible. Just take your time. There's a phrase here, I think I'm using it right, kidogo. It's Swahili. It kind of means slow, or take your time. No rushing. We're used to rushing everywhere in the United States. People are moving out here. There's a little roundabout over there. And yeah, people are moving, but people take their time here on the island of Zanzibar. There's urgency where there needs to be. Not a lot of it in my limited experience. It is slow island life. That can take a lot of getting used to. And it's easy to think, oh, they're doing it wrong. And there's some things I want to be different. So when I do that, I just try to work with the local neighbors that I've made, or my girlfriend who's teaching me a lot. It's okay if transforming into a new person that can what am I trying to say? That can make it work here. It's okay if that takes time. You've lived in the West, or America specifically, most of your life. You're not going to be able to just up and start, eating different food. Travelers' stomach is a real thing. We dealt with that moving out here, where we were getting sick a lot because your body's got to get used to new bacteria, as well as like different, some areas the refrigeration ain't that great, or there's no FDA, so you have to find other ways to move around those things so as that you're eating as healthily as you can. That can take a mental and physical toll, and that's okay. It's okay to be scared when someone asks you or tells you that, oh, this object costs 4,000, and you're like, 4,000? But it's like, in shillings, 4,000 is like maybe $2 or $3, maybe less in USD. But it's okay that it scared you, where you're like, oh, right, I have to convert in my brain, or I got to use my conversion app or something like that. And I'm not going to be able to cover everything in this video. I'm just trying to be encouraging to all the black travelers. It's okay. It's okay that it takes time. It's okay. It's okay that there's no red carpet rolled out when you come to an African country. You know, depending on the research you did, and we always encourage people to do as much research as they can to get that romanticization of the continent out of your system. It's okay to admire and be inspired by the continent, absolutely. But you got to get that romance out of you as much as you can. And then when you get boots on the ground here, they'll get it out of you. You'll get the reality. But it's okay to go through the process. You know, I've been living in the East Africa region in general, you know, Rwanda and Zanzibar for almost 4 years now, and I'm still unlearning things. I'm still unlearning, you know, transactional relationships. Not that I didn't have heartfelt, genuine relationships in America, but just the pace of relationships is different, and business is such a big deal in America, and your status, especially status as far as like, oh, what do you do? You know, I mean, I know everyone says that around the world, but that's a major thing in the West. It's a major thing in the United States. So it's okay to take your time. It's okay that you haven't figured it all out yet. It's okay that they're different from you. You know, we've been learning, you know, we're Black American or African American, whatever. They're African. They're continental African. They don't care about color. They really don't. That's a racialized Western United States thing. And depending on where you're at in your personal development as a traveler, that's going to have an impact on you. I know it had one on me. It was a little rough to think that, oh, they don't see me as a brother or something, even though, you know, kaka means brother in Swahili. And yeah, they say that, you know, and it's fine. There's genuine people here, but you know, you see all these videos, right? And it's not bad, but you see videos of like Black people meeting each other in Japan or a European country. And it's like, you know, hey, Black, hey, you know, fist bump, head nod, you know, whatever, you know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But that's, in my experience, conversations I've had with my girlfriend, she's Maasai, or other people who are Chaga or different tribes here on the island or on the mainland. They look at things very different. They're not Black. They're their tribe. They're their clan. You know, that's another way of saying a family or something. You know, you have the family ties, you have the tribal ties. That's what's important to them. That's their reality in general. You know, in my limited experience, in my opinion, a lot of continental Africans might say Black or call themselves or call us Black. Sometimes to me, it feels more like it's just humoring because it's the popular term. It's the buzzword, you know, and they're just trying to keep in step with what other people are saying. That's not bad. But as I've seen, a lot of continental Africans or even Africans living in Europe or in the United States. I met, you know, Kenyans and Nigerians and people living in the United States when I was there in the DMV. They identify themselves by their tribal reality, by the music and food and garb and religion and spirituality and whatever that's tied to ancestry that can be traced in specific ways that are very different from what Black Americans, African Americans, to what our reality has been. So when you come to an African country, that's going to be a shock for you. That's culture shock. It's not bad. It's going to be likely very uncomfortable just trying to wrap your mind around it. It's just a different way for Black people or people of African descent to identify that, you know, you're just not used to. You know, there's some Maasai that just went behind me there, you know. And so, you know, there's more and more I can say about this. I didn't want this video to be very long. I did want it to be encouraging to Black, you know, African-American travelers, definitely coming to African countries. I just wanted to encourage you to take your time as you're getting used to food, as you're getting used to local customs, as you're trying to reconcile maybe your African roots or things like that. You know, one thing that's occurred to me, you know, a lot of continental Africans, they've probably, this is going to sound bad, it's not, hear me out. They've probably forgotten more of their cultural norms than what we've ever had. Does that make sense? It's just a comparison. I'm not saying they're dismissing or forgetting their culture. It's just there's so much culture and history that they have dated back to individual people bloodline that a lot of us don't have in the United States, or black folk in Great Britain and England, in France and Europe, and other places. That has not been our experience, and so that just takes some time to reconcile. It takes a long time. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'm still reconciling it. Sometimes I feel very othered here on the continent. Other times, not so much. Every day is different. Sometimes my girlfriend and I miss each other because there are certain realities she's just used to living. Other times we're in lockstep. We have a lot of things, in common with the way we think, things that we expect from other people professionally or interpersonally and stuff like that. This is a big conversation. I'm not going to be able to cover all of it in this video. Oh, it's starting to drizzle again. You can't really tell. It's rainy season right now, so it's kind of overcast today, which I like. It's always hot here. Not like it can get cooler up north in northern Tanzania, but down here during the rainy season, this is the coolest it can get. But it can flip-flop between cool temperatures in the morning or when it rains, as well as humidity also when it rains. So anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. I just wanted to give well wishes and encouragement to Black Americans starting over, living for any period of time in an African country. If you're trying to live as harmoniously as you can, don't beat yourself up for making cultural faux pas. If you offend anybody, you probably didn't mean it. Ask forgiveness, change. Take your time when you change and transform. This is a transformation of your mind, of your heart. It's going to take some time, but you can do it. I'm doing it. I'm making mistakes too. My family's making mistakes. We've sometimes offended people. Sometimes people are asking us about money and stuff. We don't do that in the States. I'm pulling that out of the air. But that's something they joke about sometimes here on the continent. Sometimes they're seriously asking you for money. It's like, respectfully, I don't know you like that. Sorry, I can't help you. And that's okay. So interested in moving abroad, think about moving abroad, links to our Move Abroad workshops, members only video, and newsletter can all be found in the description of this video. See you next time.